violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car. I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo.
Whoa. Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga.
That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me. What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. All right, guys. So I wanted to come on here real quick. It is Mother's Day. So for all the mothers out there, all the mothers who don't know they baby daddies, you know, say, ow. Nah, but for real, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. We out here. It is the Black Gen Z Mindset. And we're going to be talking about Kevin Samuels. You know, I still want to speak on Kevin Samuels because I know of his impact, and I've seen a lot of things come out about his financial state and maybe what happened to him and all this kind of stuff. And I am going to go over this this Fox News special that came out from this guy Isaiah Carey. So we're gonna watch his special, but I did want to come in here and just say happy Mother's Day to every mother out there. You know, hopefully you know your baby daddy. Hopefully he's involved. Hopefully you ain't killing him too crazy on the child support. But we out here, man. And it's about to be a great stream. So I just created a Facebook page. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna need you guys to go check out the Facebook page, which is linked in the bio. Okay, so you can, I'm going to share the screen just to let you guys know. Let's see. Yep, so I'm gonna share the screen just to let you guys know about the Facebook right quick. So we have Jenquavius Jackson on Facebook. All right. So this actually isn't me. This is actually Jenquavius's page. So if you want, you can go follow Jenquavius. You know, he'll be posting updates. He's definitely outside.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello?
We ain't.
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
So Jenquavius is definitely outside with it. So make sure you guys check him out on the Facebook page. Also, we have the Facebook. Well, I guess that was the profile. This is actually the page. Black Gen Z Mindset. Okay, so make sure you guys go and like the Facebook page, Black Gen Z Mindset. I'm actually streaming live. I should be at least off of this page. So you guys may or may not be watching me on the Facebook live stream. It says that we're good, so I'm just gonna assume that we're good. But make sure you guys check that out. I'm gonna be doing daily updates on the Facebook and the page and the profile. Okay. So, anyways, we're going to get into this Kevin Samuels special. And as a matter of fact, I believe the brother Dennis Sperling has been the guy who is over his affairs right now. So shout out to that brother. He's going to be speaking in this special, and that's where we're going to get some of the perspective from. So we're going to, without further ado, let's get into the video. Once you come in here, guys, just like the stream. I usually play a video to warm it up, but I don't have that much time today. I got to leave at around 4. So you already know when you come in here, like the stream, and we'll already be getting into it.
And good evening and welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Controversial YouTube star Kevin Samuels has died from an apparent heart attack, according to a friend we talked to tonight. We broke the news to you here on The Factor last night. Samuels is best known for dishing out some very controversial relationship advice, but coming down extremely hard, some say, on Black women specifically.
Okay, so the narrative has already been painted. They've been doing this, saying that he comes up. Dude, I've seen him talk to all types of women when they're out of pocket. And it just so happens that Black women are the demographic that he talks to. But let's keep it a buck. Most of these women out here are delusional. Okay? Most of these women out here are delusional.
Take a listen.
You're a running back size.
Okay.
You can hit the A gap like a.
Yeah. All right. I accept.
So don't
that.
come in here talk about what men should not be able to do when they got to accept somebody who can run out the power I. How tall are you?
So that was some real shit. You have a woman and her mindset of what she believes that she deserves is warped. He said Shorty was a fullback size. That's real. It happens. We have plenty of these types of chicks out here who think that they deserve this and that. Not saying you don't deserve nice things, but when that nice thing so happens to be a person who is 10 times your attractiveness level, which I was talking about yesterday on the Don J podcast, it's absurd. And there was nobody checking this behavior, nobody checking these unrealistic expectations until Kevin Samuels came. Okay. And he had a softer touch than any other content creator out here. That's the reason why he grew so much, because he had, they only highlight his bad conversations, but he had way more great conversations with women than bad. And as a matter of fact, even when he would do shows where he said, okay, people who disagree with me come up, there were so many people who came up who agreed. And he, great conversation, boom, boom, bap, send you on your way, because I need somebody who disagrees, you know, for content purposes, which is the right thing to do.
5'4".
Dress size.
6.
That's your picture?
That is my picture.
How recent is it?
That's a 10-year-old picture. But I still look like that.
Beautiful women don't have 10-year-old pictures, man.
Facts. That's facts. Bro, when a woman is when she's a bad bitch, let's keep it real. If she's a bad bitch, she's taking picture after picture after picture. Mirror selfie. You know, everywhere. Snapchat updates, Instagram story updates. Bad bitches take pictures. Sorry.
Now, tonight, a Houston attorney and mentee and good friend of Samuels is on The Factor. That attorney, as of this evening, has been appointed the family spokesperson. But we talked to him before that development. Dennis Sperling talks about Samuels' impact nationwide.
I got to know Kevin because I have a podcast, Dennis Sperling on YouTube. and having become very, effective at what I do, he popped up on a mutual friend's podcast, and we began to talk. He then invited me to his Facebook.
God damn, man. And it's just sinking in, bro. This is a huge loss to the community. Because all in all, like Kevin, for one, he was working to fix the black male image. He really was. Okay? That's why he dressed the way that he did. That's why he presented himself the way that he did. He never came off as the angry black man, ever. He never came off as a stereotype. Like, Kevin transcended race, in my opinion. Oh yeah, that's just Kevin. That's just Kevin. And that is what I think people need to start aspiring to be. Like, I get it. You identify with the color of your skin. That's fine. I have no problem with it. But when you make that your identity, it's a difference between identifying with that and making that your identity. And I think that's literally all a lot of people in the community do nowadays. They make the color of their skin their identity. So everything is seen through that lens. And that's just not a way of life that I would want to live. And I think that Kevin transcended that in the way that he carried himself, the way that he dressed, the way that he approached situations, and the way that he articulated himself with people of the opposite sex. Okay. There hasn't been anything where Kevin put his hands on a woman, but time and time again, I do stories on niggas who are straight capping, like shooting women in the face, jacking their cars and dragging them 70 feet down the highway. And these sisters will go out here and protest for niggas like this if they get clapped by the police. And then if it happened to their family member, they on the news the next day talking about forgiveness. But look at the grudge that they hold against Kevin. Okay? I did the live stream on when black women were, if you didn't see it, it has 4.1K views now. Black women rejoice at reports that Kevin Samuels was found unresponsive in his Buckhead apartment. They were rejoicing. So don't give me that shit, bro. It's despicable. It's disgraceful. But, that's what we got out here, man.
Room where it's called the mix, and it's where you get couples together, and and that's actually how I met my fiance, ironically, but that's how I met him. And he and I just kept in contact over the past 2.5 years, and we'd start working together. But his main thing was getting couples together, getting people married again.
And I was familiar with his Facebook group, The Mix. I actually tried to join, but he said I was too young at the point. But he was doing things to get people hitched. And whatever you believe on marriage, at the end of the day, if you want to build a family, the structure of a 2-parent household is the only option. That should be our first thought process. That's the only option. There ain't no, I can do it by myself. But since we have the mindset of, I can do it by myself, the women at least, they keep creating this cycle.
Telling women, hey, you know what? This society that we live in has caused you ladies to become narcissists and to overvalue yourselves. You got 3 kids by 3 different men. You're 150 pounds overweight. You're not going to marry a millionaire. You should talk to that plumber or that electrician or that hardworking guy.
Right. Like he said, second shift at the plant. Second shift at the plant. No problem with that. Why do women have a problem with second shift at the plant?
Who you can build a life with, because as it is right now, here in America, we teach the men that they should undervalue themselves, and we teach the women that they should overvalue themselves. And that was this basic message.
For some, he was brutally honest. For others, he was brutally cruel. Where would you stand in describing your friend? And I'd say that because you actually had a relationship with him. You knew him, and it led to your fiance. So how would you describe what your friend did?
Well, for those people who think he was cruel, people who've been lied to their whole lives, they see the truth as cruelty.
And notice that it was mainly sisters who are talking about he's cruel. Dude, it's cruel that you go throughout your whole life. Like, think about this. How cruel is it for you to be lied to your whole life? People telling you that, like, in my case, I like to make sports analogies. I played football. If people were going through my life telling me, oh, I'm the best running back in the world. Like, and this happens to a lot of young recruits. Oh, he's the best running back in the world. He's a 5-star running back. He gets to college. He don't got his grades right. He don't want to work. He's lazy. He got a bad attitude. And guess what happens? Everybody inflated his ego. They tell him he's the best running back in the country and shit like that. And then after football, he has no identity. After football, he has no identity. So now what is he doing? In the streets, doing bullshit. I mean, it's hard enough to keep these NFL niggas out the streets when they making millions of dollars. Think about how difficult it'll be if a nigga base his whole identity off of running with a pigskin. Now he can't do it. Where do you think he's going to go? Especially if he don't got the backing and the guidance from his moms. His mom's resentful because he ain't make it to the league. He ain't get drafted in the 2022 draft. Now Ma Dukes is resenting him. Now he got to move back in the crib because he was in the dorms for 4 years. Now he back in the crib. Ma Dukes resenting him. She on his ass. She on his head top. Boy, man, when this boy gonna get up out my house? She's saying the shit under her breath, like right next to your door. You know how your mama talk shit. Shout out to all the mothers. It's Mother's Day, but we know how mamas talk shit. This boy done left his goddamn drawers in the hallway again. Right by your door. Wake up, honey. It's time to get up and apply for some jobs. I'm not saying you don't put the battery in your kid's back, okay? Okay? But come on.
Kevin Samuels was accurate. He backed his statements up with facts from the CDC reports. In the Black community alone, 80% of the women have children out of wedlock. And that's being sired by 20% of the men. 51% of Black men don't have children. 31% of Black men are married and live with their wives. So that means there's about 18% of men, give or take, who's siring children with these women. And so he pointed that out. He said that's why Black men aren't getting married. But see, the thing about Kevin Samuels that you all don't know is that his vision, his legacy was going to expand past YouTube. He had visions of starting a mega sort of entertainment advertising where we would talk about men's clothing, fitness, suits, cologne, those colognes and things that he would advertise. Mm-hmm. He was doing that because he was getting paid for it. He was a brilliant businessman. And the fact that he was willing to speak the truth to people and was accurate about it, all that did was endear him to the rest of us who recognize the truth he was speaking. So for those people who are his detractors, listen to the man's podcast and you'll see he was speaking the truth. It's the reality that we live in.
Right. You have to listen to the full podcast, the full context. Like, I know Kevin could be, rub some people the wrong way, but he does not deserve what they're doing to him online, on Twitter, the disrespectful memes, the Black woman talking about, oh, he died alone and all this kind of shit. Like, bro, no, he didn't. He died with a bad bitch who tried to save his life. He died with a bad bitch who tried to save his life. So that means one day impacted her so much that she felt the need to attempt to save his life. Bro, no disrespect, but how many sisters, well, let's keep it real. All these niggas that die in the community, how many sisters would have asked the front desk for a defibrillator? Uh-oh. How many of y'all know what a defibrillator is? Uh-oh. Nigga turning up now. Like, come on.
And now.
No, one of the things you said was he was talking about getting yourself together, staying in shape. And that's one of the things he did. And that's why this is so shocking to so many people. Cardiac arrest, heart attack, and people are trying to wrap their heads around that. This is a man who taught many people how to live better, how to eat better. And so it's kind of like, how did this happen to him?
And this is what I'll say when it comes to health issues. Like I said, he battled a lot of issues. He battled a lot of issues and, you know, health issues. And he was a taller man. And taller men, it takes a lot more for their hearts to pump their body, especially for 56 years or 53 years. Well, I guess they're saying 56. I get the dates have been, or the age has fluctuated from different media outlets, but I guess Fox is saying 56, so we'll go with 56. 56 years. I mean, you know, taller guys, they don't live as long, okay? That's the reality. Some people are saying, oh, could there have been drugs involved? We don't know. Some people are saying, oh, it could have been all the Red Bulls. You know, maybe, okay? Maybe. Me personally, I'm a health and fitness guy. I don't take any supplements. I eat organic foods. So I don't drink soda. And when I do, it's only with alcohol, you know, in moderation. So, I'm not, I don't really indulge in the energy drinks and the Mr. Pibbs and the Diet Cokes and all that kind of stuff. I don't have one of those habits, okay? That's an old-timey thing, you know, drinking soda pops and stuff like that. That's like, it really is. Like, that's some old school shit. Like, most people nowadays know that, hey, soda is not good for you.
Well, you know, unfortunately, he basically was a one-man show. You know, every night for the past 7 years, most of you all didn't know him until about 2.5 years ago. But for the first 5 years, he spoke to men. He said, you need to get yourself together. You're 5'5", 280 pounds, and you only make $30,000 a year, yet you want this supermodel to be your woman. That's not going to happen. And he was cruel. You want to see cruelty? Look at how
right. Like, Kevin talked to men first. For the majority of his career, he spoke to men. Men took no offense. We were like, you know what, Kevin? You're fucking right. You know, I saw Kevin years ago, like when he was first coming up, like back when he did like podcasts with Steph is Cold. That was back in the day before he even had 100K subscribers. And Kevin was talking to men. He was talking about style. He was talking to men about this, about that. He was putting dudes on game. He had business powwows. So it's just weird to see how the women react to the constructive criticism versus the men in the Black community. Because we know that Black men are really emotional, but it wasn't like Kevin Samuels had hood nigga enemies. He didn't have super gremlin enemies. Okay? Even if he talked to a Pookie and Ray Ray, they never felt like they were going to go and slide on him. They never made him an op. But Black women made Kevin Samuels an op, and now they're acting as if they're smoking on a Kevin Samuels pack and elated about his untimely passing. It's disgusting.
Talk to some of those guys. I mean, my God, he would have you leaving that podcast, you know, like 2 feet shorter than when you walked in. But you know,
equally honest to both sexes.
Equally honest, but it really picked up because no one has been brave enough to speak to women in an honest way, to tell them, hey, you know what, you need to come down off of that ledge that you're on. You're going to die alone. You're going to get a dog. You're going to be a cat lady. You think you're better than your husband, and you can do better. So you're willing to file this divorce to get back out there on that market. And what you're going to get is a rude awakening. But as far as his health, I mean, Kevin says this, and I don't want to speak too much beyond what the family would want to be said, but Kevin fought and conquered cancer at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I can only imagine what that did to his body. But, you know, just hanging out with him, he didn't overeat, he didn't undereat, but I know that the stress of putting on those shows, and you yourself know what it's like, man. And me, I've had the experience now being on my podcast. You have to interact with the public. You're constantly on edge. The only time I've ever seen him truly relax is down in Miami for his birthday.
And this is one thing that I think, Kevin, he should have gotten us once he hit World Star, he should have gotten an assistant. He should have gotten a physical assistant and a virtual assistant. Those are some of the things that I implement in my personal businesses. I have multiple virtual assistants. And you know, I wouldn't say it's very easy to hire them, but you know, you can train them and you know, they do a lot. They do a lot. So I wish he would have did that. I wish he would have trusted somebody, you know, to bring into the inner sanctum and, you know, help produce his shows, help set up for his shows. Like he should have just been the talent. Okay. And I think maybe he was going to scale to that point, but you know, he just didn't have enough time, man.
And everybody knows he says I don't drink, but you know, me, I'm known for purchasing a few bottles here and there. and you've hung out with me before too. And so, you know, after a couple of bottles, man, he was dancing and really just enjoying his birthday. And to me, I look at that like that was his going away party, as far as I'm concerned.
Lord have mercy, man. I mean, dude, in my opinion, like for real, this is what I'll say about content creators, man. You can create a relationship with people that you never met, that you don't know. And I would even go as far as to say, man, you can love somebody. Like, look at all the people out here who are getting catfished online and stuff like they create real attachments and real loves. And I know those are fantasies, but in this case, when you're interacting with content creators, your favorite content creators, and you've actually had some conversations with them, you know, maybe they show love on your streams or vice versa and whatnot, and there is an interaction. You grow a fondness to them, man, and it really does feel like you lost a family member. It felt like we lost a family member when Kevin passed away. I mean, you know, it's so crazy how these things go. And I know that he had a lot of love around him. So I hate when these women are trying to make it seem like he was just alone in the world. No, the fuck he was not. Okay. He had guys who were ready on go to take up the responsibilities of being a spokesperson for the family. You know, getting his finances in order and handling his estate, probating his assets. Okay. So I'm sure that Dennis Sperling himself is working with other attorneys maybe as well to assure that he has, you know, the necessary means to, you know, do a funeral and all that kind of stuff. Let me put it like this. You're not going to see Kevin Samuels' family on GoFundMe asking for money. Okay. You're not going to see that. So it looks like he did have affairs in order. I'm sure he, you know, maybe didn't do everything that he wanted to do as far as a will goes. and we don't know about any life insurance policies, but he had love around him. Okay. He had love around him. He's got guys, a group of guys who are willing to go to bat for him online. Okay. To defend his name, to uplift his name. And it's not to say that, oh, he was without flaws or he was without error. It's just like, at the end of the day, we're not going to let you tarnish the legacy because he was saying some shit that needed to be said.
Just seeing him smile and happy and relaxed and amongst friends. And my fiance was there, another young lady named Melanie King, who's a very popular YouTuber. We were all there just hanging out in Miami, and it was really impromptu because he didn't tell anybody it was his birthday. We were just down there to meet, and he was like, "Yeah, it's my birthday." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "It's time to turn up, man." You know,
there you go. There you go. So as we wrap up, Dennis, what did he mean to you?
Well, man, we haven't had a voice of truth here in the United States in many years. Our preachers stopped speaking the truth. Our
screenwriters and actors stop speaking the truth to us. Our politicians stop speaking.
Whoa. Yo, I just been notified. We only got 22 likes and there's 55 people in there. Genquavius, do what you do, bro.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Genquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
I keep telling you, consciousness over coochie, politics over punani.
The truth. We have a lot of panderers out there. And what Americans need, what the world needs, is truth speakers, because here's the thing. A lot of us have been misled. You know, he was clearly a mentor to some. He was a father to others. They referred to him as the Godfather. He was that middle-aged 50-year-old man that many of these young folks didn't have, who would be honest with them. You know, he wasn't a man who was afraid to speak the truth. A well-studied, brilliant Black man. The way he dressed, the way he carried himself with dignity. What you weren't going to do is cut him off on his podcast and interrupt him and treat him like he was a child.
Right, exactly. And how many, like, that's the thing with sisters. They like to treat brothers like we're children. And the reason why that is because they deal with, I'm telling you right now, they deal with so many like Pookie and Ray Ray type niggas. Like they're dealing with super gremlins all day who don't got anything to their name, don't have any responsibilities. And like they treat you like a kid because they're not used to seeing a grown man dress up like a grown man. Kevin didn't rock Jordans and shit. And I love Jordans, nothing against them, but Kevin didn't sag his pants, right? He didn't rock Jordans and try and, you know, be a street dude, like have the street image, okay? Like he didn't do that shit. So they're trying to come up on his show acting as if he's one of those guys, and he's not.
Commanded respect. But then when you would meet him in public, man, he didn't hide. He spoke to the people. He was more gracious than any of the actors or entertainers I've ever seen. They could learn a lesson from him. He never had security around him, no bodyguards. We're in Miami, dudes are running up on him. One guy, most people had positive things to say. Somebody else was like, "You're gonna get yours." He just graciously smiled at him and kept it moving. In New York, as crowded and rowdy as New York can be, no bodyguards. I mean, he was a man of the people. And if you ever really had a chance to be around him and sit and listen to him, you'd see how brilliant he was. But to me, he was a mentor. He was, you know, and at my age, you know, it's like, I'm too old for mentors. but he was truly a mentor, a big brother, and I appreciate his legacy. And I hope that those men who are in the manosphere, which he has taken mainstream now, like the things we talk about that used to be part of the dark corners of the internet that everybody thought was crazy. They called them incels and these. Now it's
major talking points. You have Hollywood being affected by it. So he meant a lot to him. He was and I describe it like this, he was the aircraft carrier that was out front leading and surrounded by a battalion of ships of truth speakers. And so that's what he meant to me. He was a forerunner he was a harbinger to what I think America needs to get back to our traditional values: family, raising children, being good citizens, being good Christians, because he taught Bible study, if you didn't know. And I think, and I appreciate him, and that's what he meant to me, brother.
All right, Attorney Dennis Sperling.
So yeah, shout out to that brother Dennis Sperling. Guys, we're gonna take a brief intermission because I do have to use the restroom. Then we're gonna get into the girls talk, what the women think about Kevin, and hopefully they're not disrespectful. I have not watched it, but we're gonna get a panel of women who are gonna give their thoughts on Kevin Samuels' impact on the community. So stay tuned.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa.
Yo, ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
All right, guys, so we're back and we're going to get in the second segment, which is what the women think about Kevin Samuels. So let's get into it.
You're watching the Isaiah Factor, uncensored.
A wise man once said, feminism is just a way for ugly chicks to level the playing field. I'm really trying to be patient.
I need to tell you my location, but go ahead. So,
well, I'm going to tell you your location.
Shorty looked like she got shocked by lightning.
It's off my show. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Wow.
That was real. Nothing that he said was wrong. What did he say that was wrong?
Welcome back to the second half hour, The Factor Uncensored. Well, Kevin Samuels knew how to stir that pot. Just last week, he was a topic of a girl talk session here where he called single women over 35 leftover women. Leftover. Tonight, they're back. The women from Girl Talk discussing Samuel's death and the troubling legacy he leaves behind.
So we got Dr. Angela Jones joining the ladies of Girl Talk here on The Factor Uncensored tonight. Glad to see you, Dr. Jones.
I'm happy to be here.
This is the first person.
Do we spot any woman under the age of 30 years old on this panel? I'll wait.
I've seen who has died or who has passed of notoriety where people are actually glad he's dead. Some people are glad and they're not shy about it. I've never seen anything like this. Dr. Jones,
well, all of them are smiling and cheesing and kikiing and giggling. The fuck?
Thoughts on why people have so much animosity towards Kevin Samuels?
Kevin Samuels was a very controversial person, right? He made sure to stir the pot, and not only stir the pot, he stirred the pot to change people's minds in regards to how they see Black relationships, Black women, and our value. I mean, he would rate women by number, and he would diminish women's value.
Women hate being critiqued. They hate being rated, but it's so crazy because they try and act like they're not competing for men that they want. Like, it makes no sense. Like, how come you can't rate somebody when these women will rate men all the time? Oh, he ain't tall enough. That's a rating. That's a rating. He don't make enough money. That's a freaking rating. Just because you're not putting it on a scale of 1 to 10 doesn't mean that you're not rating that person. As a matter of fact, you're judging the book by its cover. Right? So I don't think there's any problem with judging a woman on a scale of 1 to 10 of her attractiveness level. It has nothing to do with if she's a good person or not. It just says, on a scale of 1 to 10, there's you're about a 6. So there's a 60% chance that I would fuck you. That's literally all it is. So, you know, in honor of Kevin Samuels, I will rate Dr. Angela Jones. On a scale of 1 to 10, can't use 7. Probably a 5.
In a lot of his podcasts, in a lot of his videos. Now, there were some times where he actually did say some positive things, and he did kind of create an environment for people to actually start talking about Black families, Black wealth. So I think that's the good part of Kevin Samuels. But he has really taken women and tear them down and, you know, and make them feel very little. So a lot of people...
Kevin didn't have to tear them down to make them feel little. They just look at their living situation. Just look at your living situation. Just look at the life that you've created for yourself. Okay? This has nothing to do... At the end of the day, it has more to do with that person and why they felt like they needed validation from Kevin. And you know why they sought out the validation from Kevin? Huh? They sought out the validation from Kevin because he was the type of guy that they wanted. So if you ask men who you find attractive what they want, and they tell you, why are you upset?
Unfortunately, you know, a lot of people are looking at this like, we don't need another person out there that is going to create hate for women when we already have so much things that we have to work through on a daily basis.
No, Dr. Jones, was it
hate? Are you serious? Shout out to Alance 757 with the $5 super chat. He says, paying my tithes this Sunday, RIP to the Godfather. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Oh, say less.
hate or brutal honesty? And I guess it's perspective in that case.
Right. It's perspective, but I don't think it was hate. I think it was very skewed thoughts, right? So he believed something and
skewed thoughts. So what about your skewed thoughts, Dr. Angela Jones? You're a sex expert. Would you date a guy who couldn't make you come? Like, seriously, would you marry a guy who couldn't make you orgasm? All these sex experts, you know their thoughts. You know they got hella toys. You know they're living the Sex and the City lifestyle. Most of them are not married. She literally has her pronouns in her fucking Zoom name or her Skype name. How much of a sheep do you have to be? How much of a follower? How indoctrinated do you have to be to have your pronouns in your Skype profile name? How indoctrinated do you have to be to have your freaking pronouns in your Skype profile name?
And that was it. He believed that Black women were enough to rate them, to belittle them.
No, he rated all women. Anyways, long live Kevin Samuels, the king, puts a $19 on the super chat. He says, long live the king of YouTube. All of YouTube, Black men underestimate their position of leadership in American culture. There's a reason why we are all mourning this man. He was our leader, not because we're Black.
Oh, say less.
You said it well, my friend. You said it well.
To make them feel as though they're not good enough and that they had to work towards getting a man, as though the man was the prize and the women, we weren't the prize.
Baby. The man is the prize by virtue of the woman's standards. Let me repeat that, because I think that one went over your freaking heads. The man is the prize by virtue of the woman's standards, okay? Now, I'm not saying that a man can't treat his woman like she is a prize, okay? Like she needs to be treated like she should be treated. But ultimately, the woman wins when you get married, not the man, okay? The woman wins when you get married. So I'm going to ask a poll. Who is the prize? Men or women? Now, be honest what you think. If you're a man and you think women are the prize, then do that. If you're a woman and you think that women are the prize, do that. If you're a man and you think men are the prize, do that. Okay? But we're going to rate every single chick on this panel. All right? We're not going to be discouraged or shamed. Like Kevin Samuels said, sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. We're not going to be shamed to say that, hey, it's okay for guys to say, you're a 6. Because women say, you're not 6 feet. You know what I mean? And I have no problem with that. That's fine with me. But don't get mad when men turn it over on you.
And so, unfortunately, a lot of men and even women were on the bandwagon of Kevin Samuels, and they took what he said, and I feel like what he did was water the plant. If there was just a little bit of a garden, he grew the garden to something much bigger.
All right. And Jasmine, the last time we talked about Kevin Samuels on this show last week, where he said,
if you have made it to 35 years old and you're unmarried, you are a leftover woman.
You didn't mince any words. You said you didn't like him or anybody who liked him.
So she was obviously triggered. I'm going to keep it a buck. You know, I'm 27. You know, I've seen some 35-year-old women who could possibly get it on a drunk night. You know, there are some. But ultimately, dog, I mean, let's keep it a buck. Guys are not really checking for that. Like, when I see 35-year-old women, usually they're with a lot older men, like like 60, 50s, yeah, I mean, which is cool. Do what you got to do. But 35-year-old men, quite frankly, are not checking for 35-year-old women. That's just the reality. Hate to burst your bubble, and you got kids.
Damn! Right. Yes, I did, and I still stand by that. That's my opinion. But what's going on regarding his death? How people are kind of everyone's entitled to their perspective, right? Like even that interview.
Everyone's entitled to her perspective. Look at this woman defending people, bashing the man's death, and then the women talk about, oh, you bash black women. Well, you're bashing the man in his death. You're making up lies and spreading rumors in his death.
Interview, I got feedback from others, and I feel that Kevin Samuels gave his perspective, right? I feel like his mission was to become a character, which he was, and he played the role. I do think that his mission was to get his message across and his perspective to the masses. He was able to accomplish that. So I feel like he lived within his purpose. But what I am seeing is a lot of like controversy regarding good. I'm glad he's dead. You know, no one cares and all of that. I feel like that's.
Look at her smiling when she said that. Look at the condescending smirk when she said that.
Good. I'm glad he's dead. You know, no one cares and all of that.
She's fighting back a grin.
I feel like that's a little too far. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to like you. That's still my perspective. But it's a level of respect that you give, right? For someone passing. I don't agree with Kevin Samuels. I mean, some things I do and some things I don't. But
like anybody, at least say that. Some things I agree with. Some things I don't. This specific thing triggered me, and I had to look inwardly into myself and say, you know what? When did I get the most attention in my life as a beautiful woman? When was I getting the most attention, the most options? Is it now or then? Don't tell me. Do not give me this bullshit about I'm so much better as a woman now. Like the decisions that I would have made back when I was younger. I wouldn't have made those decisions. Yeah, no shit. Hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. Of course you wouldn't have made those decisions. Of course you wouldn't have you wouldn't have fucked the trap star over the nerd who ended up creating his own software development business. Of course. Because you see where he's at now. You see where he's at now, but what got you juicing and oozing back in the day is not the same thing that got you oozing now. Because you realize that it was a misstep, that you couldn't get everything that you wanted. You couldn't get the street nigga who's also corporate. You know, from 9 to 5, he's going to work in a tuxedo and closing major stock market deals, and then you know, from 6 to like 8 p.m., he's a serial killer. And then when he comes home to you, he's fucking the dog shit out you and being romantic and shit. You can't get all in one, okay? But a lot of these sisters want that. Remember what Asian Doll said? She won't date a nigga unless he caught a body. Okay? Shout out to Waifu Robot Revolution. He says older ones give great foot jobs.
All right, tell us who you are.
Yo, Bo, we outshot them, little AGs. Come on, man. If you don't know about me, I'm a rapper. Your rapper, favorite trapper, favorite rapper.
What are you looking for in the perfect female?
She just gotta be perfect. Come on. Perfect personality, pretty, but a fat ass too, respectfully.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting a foot job unless she got a fat ass too, respectfully. But shout out to Wafu Robot Revolution. He's definitely outside if he's getting foot jobs. Jesus.
What's going on right now regarding his death, I feel like it's very tasteless with a lot of people. You know, he did mention about Black women and, you know, that he raped. Those are the things that I did not like, but the way that people are just like.
What did he mention about Black women? She said he did mention about Black women, like he raped them. Like, bro, he rated every woman.
Great, he's crucified. You know, I just think that.
And now it's time for her to get her rating, okay? So we're looking at the poll. We got 19 votes on the poll, guys. We got to get that. Let's get let's get at least 50% of the people in the chat to vote on the poll. Come on, guys. But you know, we're gonna give her a rating, and obviously she's not at her best. She kind of got the Alvin and the Chipmunk cheeks, which could be cute in a way. I can't see the body yada yada, so it's hard. But on a face scale, I think she is on the same level as the last chick, so I'll give her a 5 to a 6.
That's a bit much, you know. So everyone's entitled to their perspective, but I feel like it's really tasteless what's going on right now, honestly. And it's something
Maggie,
that we should evaluate.
Maggie, your thoughts? Did he do more harm than good for black women out there? What are your thoughts on it?
What? How would she know? I mean, all right.
I mean, like you said, depending on what lens you're looking through,
Oh, she must be blazing.
a lot of it was just all negative. And to me,
A lot of it was all negative. Okay. All right.
with what not just black women, but even just minority women as a whole, what we have to deal
What? What the fuck? Now she's playing the victim card. Now she's playing the race card. I knew this was going to happen. What we have to deal with as a whole. Bro, bro. This is the main thing, that the worst thing that black women have to deal with. I'm going to tell you right now, the worst thing that they have to deal with is not fucking microaggressions in the workplace. Because most of the time, they're doing the macroaggressions. Fuck a microaggression. How many times have you been to a drive-through and got a macroaggression from an overweight single mom sister who's pissed off? Let's keep it real now. How many times have you been through the drive-through and she got real greasy with you? You ain't even got to the window yet. And she's like, welcome to KFC. Can I take your order? Yeah, can I get a 5-piece spicy chicken? We don't got spicy chicken. Oh, okay, my bad. Well, can I get a 5-piece white meat chicken? We only got dark meat. Okay. Can I get a 5-piece dark meat chicken combo with 3 drumsticks? We don't got legs. All we got is wings and breasts. Well, goddamn, what do y'all got on the fucking menu? Sir, don't get attitude around with me. All right. I'm going to Popeyes.
Deal with on a daily basis. If you have a platform to uplift your queens and to talk positivity into your queens, yet you're, demoralizing them, you're talking bad about them, you're putting them in a negative space,
It was literally constructive criticism. Obviously, you have not watched Kevin Samuels. And guys, there goes her Instagram. Y'all need to start sending her his full live streams. You obviously have not watched the live streams. And it kind of gets on my nerves because I remember when Kendra G came on to Kevin Samuels' show, and even she had like unrealistic expectations for the position that she was in her life at the moment. And all she did was take Kevin Samuels' formula, and now she's doing fucking like Instagram relationship interview videos with it. And I'm just like, you're not Kevin. You will never be Kevin. And you softball your conversations. You're not like truthful like Kevin was. And it gets me mad that, I'm not wishing any harm, but it's just upsetting that he can't still be here to do that. And now maybe people will go over to her channel and say, hey, well, I like this style or form of content where somebody is interviewing women and stuff like that. So maybe people will go over to her channel and to fill that void of what Kevin left. And that just makes me feel sick to my stomach.
I really and honestly cannot have a positive opinion about this individual. God bless his soul. But
wow. So let's rate her. It looks like she done got her eyebrows done. She looks like she's blazing. Some people said pineapple volcano sister. So she might be Pacific Islander. Some people say white Latina. I'll give her a 6.
But just because of the person that he was as a whole and the things that he talked about, I just think that you have so many opportunities to do something more positive, especially like I said, with the platform that you have. But
he built that platform initially off of talking to men and giving constructive criticism. He said, you know what? I'm going to give constructive criticism to women. And he did that, and they had a fucking fit.
but yet you're using this platform to talk down on, and you're a black man. You're a black man talking down on black women. Like that.
Bro, he talked to all women. Why do they keep just saying, oh, it's black women? Look, he had an invested interest in the black community. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Kevin Samuels, shocker. He's a black man who has an invested interest in the black community. And everybody knows what the fuck is going on right now. Like, we know that these little niggas who is shooting up, carjacking, doing all this shit, we know who they mamas is, and we know that their mamas are indiscriminately fucking. All right? Let's keep it a buck. As a matter of fact, I might show you guys a video of last night in the club. I might have to show you guys a video. I was in the club last night, and these hoes were acting a damn fool. They were acting a whole asshole. All right? I was in the club last night, and they was acting a damn fool. So maybe I will show you guys that. This is what the fuck we be talking about when we talk. Like, this is like, it's not to like disparage or make them feel bad. It's like, no, get your fucking shit together, because what y'all are creating out here is embarrassing to the community. It's embarrassing. So I'm gonna have to mail drop this file. So it may take a little second. But guys, when I tell you that these women are masculine, these women are masculine. Shroom, LSD, masculine. They're masculine. Okay? Very masculine. All right? And it's wild. It's wild to see, man. Like, I was watching women, sisters, okay? Sisters fighting grown-ass men, bucking away from, trying to get out of the grasp of security when they obviously went into the club to fight and do wrong. And these are the situations that get the club shot up. Fuck the club up, bitch. Fuck the club up. That's what gets the club shot the fuck up. Activities like this. Because then what's she gonna do? And then when I was filming, the bitch got mad when I was filming. I don't know why you filming. You need to put that camera away. You need to put that camera away for somebody to knock you the fuck out. Bitch, ain't nobody finna knock me the fuck out. You must not seen Reclaim Your Throne. I will reclaim my boot up your ass, up your masculine ass, because the guard, the bouncer, he was being nice. He was being nice. He didn't throw no bows. He was trying to do grappling moves and all this MMA shit. Bitch, I'm throwing elbows and knees.
I think that just in itself was just more hurtful, not just to me, but of course among everybody that he's spoken to or spoken about. And so, I mean, if fellas, if there's anything that you learn from this, God don't like ugly. So,
are you fucking serious? Did she really just say that? Does she understand? Does she understand the space and time that we are in within the black community? And Kevin Samuels was giving constructive criticism to black men and women. And she says, God don't like ugly. And this is a problem that I have in the black community. And, you know, I believe in God, but guys, you can't just, God did this. Like, bro, nobody knows the time or the hour, obviously. Like, y'all are tripping. Talk about something. God, I don't like ugly. Like, bruh. It could have easily went the other way. Like, they could have easily saved his life. Obviously, he had health issues in the past. It is what it is. You're dealt the cards, and it's up to you what you do with them. So once we finish this, guys, I'm going to show you the behavior that goes on in the community all the time in public. In public.
If fellas, if there's anything that you learn from this, God don't like ugly. So please do not take anything that he's ever preached or talked about and actually add value to it, because it's just not good. It's not good at all. It's just not.
What is she talking about? It's not good at all. You obviously have not watched the content.
Not good for the community that we're in, the age that we're in. You know, I want to see somebody using their platform like this to uplift us and to talk good about Black men. If there's a way that
you mean like Derek Jackson? You mean like Derek Jackson? And let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. It's unfortunate, but collectively, Black men, we got a problem. And it's really not, okay, it is Black men, definitely. It is Black men, but it's really these young niggas, okay? They have a bigger problem. Now, obviously, we do have 45, 35, 65-year-old killers who've been killing for a long time, might I add. This ain't their first rodeo. So when you see a 65-year-old Black man kills it, this ain't his first time killing, all right? So when you see those types of things, you're like, yeah, we got a problem, all right? But I think as a whole majority, I'll say, I mean, it could be 50-50. No cap. Nowadays, it's feeling like 50-50. But, you know, we're in a dire situation as a community. And all these hoes, they want to hear sunshines and rainbows and Black power and Wakanda. And I'm going to tell you what, if there was a Wakanda, because I'm in Atlanta, and Atlanta is most definitely not Wakanda, okay?
The goddamn NBA is a suspect. As soon as I said that, Mama Oya blew my cell phone off the stand.
Like I said, if there was a Wakanda, that bitch would have got shot up already.
We can use this and turn it around and make it more positive. From what we've learned from what he's talked about is to uplift
you didn't learn shit, obviously.
Queens and just love on us. We are the prize.
There you have it. We are the prize. So we got 36 votes, 38 votes on the poll so far. They say, who's the prize, men or women? 76% say men, 24% say women.
All right, Karen, let's hear from you. Your thoughts on...
So we got a Karen in the building. We got Karen in the building, and the cheekbone structure is already throwing me off. She kind of give me a Jigsaw vibe. It's giving Jigsaw.
Kevin Samuels and so many people out there who are just glad he's dead.
Absolutely. I mean, a life lost is a serious matter. You know, I think that people are literally laying him down to rest officially on social media. Every meme, everything.
Are you fucking kidding me? And this woman, Karen Day Amat, is a CEO of quote unquote social behavior. And you can't extend the empathy and your condolences to this man when he has a mother who cares about him. He has family members who care about him. He has friends who care about him. Kevin called this. He called it sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. They need to be right about this. And that's why they have to, quote unquote, in her words, lay him to rest on social media in memes. Because they need to be right about, well, he was saying these things about Black women in the community and all these different things. But since he died, he was wrong. No. Since he died, it was solidified. What did I say? I'm going to repeat that. Since he died, it was solidified.
I've seen they're going in on him. And, you know, it's a serious matter, but at the same time, people are kind of paying it back paying him with the same respect that he paid other people. He devalued
Kevin always was respectful unless a chick came on the stream tripping. You would know that if you watched the show.
people. He diminished people's value based on their looks, and people are just having.
Oh, so he diminished people's value based on that. So what are we gonna rate her? Guys, let me know in the chat. Me personally, you know, all of these chicks are pretty much 5s and 6s. Like, it would be tough unless they had banging bodies. Then it would be tough to give them a 6. The Blasian looking chick, she's the closest thing to a 6 on this panel. Okay, the rest of them 5, which is not. There's nothing wrong with being a 5.
Having a ball with it on social. You know, we live in a very meme-driven world, and people are just going to react in a way that makes them feel, you know, kind of like they're paying it forward. It's a hate-filled campaign. Unfortunately, it's sad, but that's kind of the way that people are just processing it and dealing with it.
Okay, so what do you think? You talking about people? You talking about what you seeing? What about what you think?
And Dr. Jones, there is an audience for what Kevin Samuels did on YouTube and on his podcast. And there are not just to say mainly male listeners, but there's a group of male listeners out there who are kind of upset with the dating scene or the life that they have, and they bought into all of that. I remember a group of individuals who said they didn't date women in America, black women in America anymore. They would go to the Dominican Republic.
He's talking about Fresh and Fit.
But they were avid listeners.
And look, she's laughing, but she knows that, hey, yeah, the bitches in the DR are badder. Sorry.
Of Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. So the thing, and I'm gonna play the devil's advocate with this a little bit, right? Kevin Samuels, if he was super nice and supportive of us, nobody would have listened to him. Honestly, he was controversial. He knew how to get an audience, and he knew how to get people to listen. I can't tell you how many Kevin Samuels videos and interviews and stuff I've watched just because he's so it's compelling. So in order for him to actually draw in his audience,
So she was a hate watcher.
He had to be compelling. He had to go all the way to the other side to make sure that you listen to him. But the thing is that sprinkled in this negativity that he had, there was some tokens that he would put out there, and hopefully people were able to take those tokens and utilize it in a positive way. It's just, it was overarching too much negative and not enough positive. But I know that if you're going to be in that kind of industry, I mean, he blew up. His podcast, his videos blew up because how controversial he is. He knew how to get all of us to feel the way we feel, all of those people on Instagram to feel something about him. He was able to capture our hearts and make us question a lot of things, even if we didn't agree with it.
Should individuals, and any one of you can jump in and answer this, should individuals be taking it personally though now? Many people, it appears, they're taking it personally by saying, I'm glad he's dead.
No, it's not that.
And maybe it's because some of the points that he spoke on kind of, maybe like Angie said, playing devil's advocate, kind of hit a nerve or kind of struck some truth into some people's, lives, into why they couldn't date successfully or were having.
What about your life? Because you were probably one of the most vile on this panel when speaking about Kevin.
Trouble in their relationships or whatever have you. Maybe
the thing is, these are the same women who will glorify a guy like George Floyd, who put a fucking gun to a pregnant woman's belly. Kevin Samuels never did any of this shit. Okay? Never did anything to put the life or jeopardize the direct safety of a black woman. But these bitches are out here protesting for a Jacob Blake who sexually abused his girlfriend, who he had a restraining order against him, fought 3 cops, ended up getting shot 10 times, and is paralyzed. Now you got these hoes out here protesting for this nigga. And he literally, the whole reason why they ended up coming to the call was because he sexually abused his baby mama. These women are either they're just dumb or willfully ignorant.
Maybe it's because, again, it was just maybe there was some truth to it.
Maybe there was some truth. You don't know. Kevin was a walking, talking facts machine. He's like the Kobe of the manosphere. He's like the Wizard Kelly of the cartoon world. As a matter of fact, somebody needs to make a Kevin. I was thinking about this the other day. Somebody needs to make a Kevin Samuels cartoon and keep the legacy living, like kind of like a Boondocks-esque type thing. But there needs to be a Kevin Samuels cartoon and keep the legacy alive, man.
I think that
with all this like voice automation and voice, like there's plenty of clips where you don't even have to hire an actor for Kevin Samuels' voice. Like you can just use the clips that he's already done and use the voice automator. Like, bro, hold on. I'm about to put out a $1 million idea. Let me shut up.
Even for me, when I watch it, there were times that he would say something, I'd be like, that's you know.
Yeah, no shit.
You got a point there. It's just a delivery is trash, right? But overall, so I feel just like Jasmine said, the way people are coming at him after this man has passed away, honestly, I think it's very ugly. But I also feel like, people have a lot of more courage and a lot more strength behind
the screen.
Ugly things, right? It's just not a nice thing to do.
And I like what Leela Mayoral said. She said, what impact Kevin made on 2022? His message was about a healthy, united, strong Black family. Facts.
He maybe wasn't nice to you, but you can still be gracious to someone.
She made another point, and he didn't allow women of other races to speak bad about Black women. Yeah, that's true. He would check the white women who would come up and speak about Black women's delusion. Even though it's like your big brother. I can speak on my sister, but y'all niggas can't. And he was a real nigga for that.
One in their passing. I mean, he passed away. I mean, he was a figure in our community, whether negative or positive. I cannot tell you, and I'm sure everybody here has had conversations outside of this about Kevin Samuels, and that was the point. He made us talk about the Black family, whichever way he had to do it.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you for joining us. And I see Jasmine just had enough and she hung up on us. She's probably having connection problems. But
yeah, with that struggle ass Wi-Fi. The fuck? Jasmine. Which one was Jasmine? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, she got the struggle. She got 3G wireless with Cricket. So the stream dropped for her. So that was it. That was a Fox special. Really good special. I really enjoyed that, man. RIP to the Godfather. RIP to Kevin Samuels. But guys, I'm gonna show. I promised you guys that I would show you the behavior. I promised you guys that I would show you the behavior that I observed last night in the club. All right, so hold on. Sorry, because I actually don't know how to control. Let me see. I don't know how to control this file and pause it and commentate over it. But this was in the club last night. All right. So this is the behavior that Kevin Samuels was talking about. This is real footage. Bitch, get the fuck out of the club. You're getting kicked out. Leave. These hoes are fighting like men. They're fighting like men. Guys, actually, before I go to that video, we're going to take another brief intermission. I've been drinking a lot of water, so I'm going to have to step away for a second right quick and get right. But we're going to hand it off to Jen Quavius when I come back. We're going to finish up this stream. So make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys vote on the poll. RIP Kevin Samuels.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place.
Excuse me. I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting. And I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured, but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo.
Whoa. Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me. All right, guys. So I'm back in this mug. I'm gonna show you this video from last night, guys, and I could do this every weekend. Let me repeat. I could do this every single weekend. Okay? I just don't pull out my camera every time because, you know, when these super gremlins get to fighting, they get on demon time and they start shooting the place up. So usually, like, if I'm in the club, I'll film it. But when I'm outside, I'm more vigilant and I'm trying to make sure that, yo, these niggas ain't call nobody to spin the block and shoot the club up. She's literally salivating at the mouth. And look at these dumb hoes. Let's go. No, the bitch is getting arrested. And she's fighting. This is what they be talking about. Why did he do her like that? Why did he look at her resisting? He didn't have to do her like that. She's a girl. Have we checked her T levels? I mean, seriously, look how she is handling being grappled by a grown man. Titties about to fall out. Don't care how she look. And then the other bitch trying to save her, like, bitch, get the fuck out the way. And then the other one, let me fix it. Let me fix it. Ain't no fixing it. You already violated. Get the fuck out of the club. I never understood people trying to stay somewhere where they're unwanted. All on the floor acting a damn fool. And when she was getting hemmed up, she looked like she had rabies, bruh. Shorty is OV. Stop resisting. They'll let you go if you just stop resisting. They finna hog tie that bitch. Niggas was like, that bitch strong. Yeah, she is strong. Yeah, I mean, strong, independent. Oh, okay.
One of the
damn.
I will. I'll try.
Okay. Look, when I go outside, and then the bitch gonna try and get smart. Well, I don't know why he filming. Bitch, I'll slap the fuck out you with my phone.
Escorted the fuck out. Got escorted the fuck out.
What the fuck?
It's like that.
She said, and you're recording. Why? I was finna cuss her out too.
Still recording. This ain't no fucking movie. Turn that shit off.
You heard her. And he's still recording. This ain't no fucking movie. Turn that shit off. And what the fuck you gonna do? Look at your face. Embarrassed.
The fuck out. Got escorted the fuck out.
What the fuck?
It's like that.
He's still recording. This ain't no fucking movie. Turn that shit off.
All right, guys. So I did want to share you guys that video of last night. So all in all, as a matter of fact, I'll bring it up. Look at the foam coming out of her mouth. You're fighting to stay in a club that, for one, this was after hours, so the club already closed. And you're still fighting to stay inside of a club that has closed. The public hours are over. Everybody else is leaving willingly. Nobody else had to be escorted out. But notice how the one person who had to be escorted out was a sister. So if black men see this behavior, which we see oftentimes, and a lot of black men are willing to accept this behavior, and that's fine. Go do you, brother. Go do you. I'll see you on the other side. Okay? I'll see you on the other side. If you're in, these are the same type of women. If you're not strong enough to handle me, then da-da-da-da-da. What? And then when we were leaving, this is what I forgot to tell you. Also, I was going to the parking deck, and then her and her bitches was outside trying to jump me. Them hoes were literally trying to jump me. They was like talking in a circle. Wait till he come. Like, bitch, don't you know niggas don't fight? Bitch, hey, we can get on demon time. I'll start busting all types of. I mean, obviously, I would take all of them with my right hand tied behind my back. But it's just funny, like they really was trying to jump me in the parking deck because I filmed the whole situation. Delete that shit, nigga. They was gonna stomp me out. Delete that shit. Bitch, you got me fucked up. You must not have seen Reclaim Your Throne. But anyways, if black men see this behavior, which a lot of them, like I said, are willing to deal with it, but the ones who aren't, if we don't put up with this behavior, we can't speak on the black community. We're not pro-black.
Correct. But I would say, listen, your wife is white. So we're going to stop the black talk right now.
Any black man who is with a woman who's not an African herself is going to have a difficult time getting respect from me. I believe black men need to be with black women. The black family is under attack. Only 1 out of every 4 black women gets married. The black woman is last likely to get married. She's the last married, the first divorced. We have what? 2/3 of our children being raised by working class and impoverished single black female-led house homes. The destruction of a nation begins in the home of its families. And if we want to save black people, we have to save the black family. And in order to do that, black men have to commit themselves to black women.
So all them stats, all those stats, those negative stats, who Dr. Umar brought up, not me, those are his words. I wonder why. So as a black man, if I'm not willing to deal with that, then all this other type of shit, okay? I hate myself, I hate my mom, and all types of shit. Look. All right, cool. So, man, this was a jam-packed, action-packed, as you guys saw, live stream and night. And ultimately, what I'm saying is Kevin Samuels was calling out this behavior, and it was very productive. to the black community, in my opinion. And he was calling out this behavior. He was giving women and men a dose of reality. And he was also doing his duty by sending these scallywags back to the streets.
She belongs to the street. Percocets, Miley Percocets.
Okay. So all in all, I think that Kevin Samuels will be greatly missed. I think that we definitely need to continue to call out the bullshit behavior. I've seen other people call it out, but most people are scared to, and that's fine. I get it. I understand. But at the end of the day, if you stand idle by while an atrocity is being committed or where damage is being done to your community, then you're pretty much implicit on whatever result you get from said community. So anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and leave it there. I appreciate everybody for dropping in. Make sure you guys check out the Facebook page, the Black Gen Z Mindset Facebook page, and make sure you check out that live stream there. Then make sure you check out my Facebook, Jenquavius Jackson, to follow me in all my activities on news reporting and being the best media outlet, independent media outlet that I can to you guys, with an emphasis on the black community, guys. It's definitely going to take voices like Kevin Samuels and other content creators to at least put a dent in some of this behavior. At least put a dent in because you can't fix it all. But at least put a dent in some of this behavior, guys, because it's getting greasy out here. And I showed you guys that video, and this is not the only time that this thing has happened. Fighting with grown men is crazy. I keep having to show you guys this shit because this is where we're at with it. So anyways, you already know what it is, man. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about Kevin Samuels' legacy. Will the positive outweigh the negative, or will these sisters' voice be heard and be louder than the positive effect that Kevin Samuels had on the black community, on black men, and on black women, and getting people hitched? Okay, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below to continue the discussion. You already know what it is. Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we're going to give it to Jenquavius to take us away.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me. I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/BlackGenZMindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jaquavius
Hey,
Jackson,
jump on that
here
nigga,
live.
man.
Reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.